Look nothing like that. So I have to believe it. All right. Time we got here. 43. 15 minutes. No. All righty. So Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Stayed up late watching that Minnesota game against OKC. OKC came into the game up 2-1 in the series, looking to pull a nail in the Timberwolves. But after destroying OKC in game 3 by 42 points, Minnesota enthusiasts were optimistic that they were going to do the same thing in game 4. Well, you're an old guy like me and you've seen 1,000 of these playoff series. You knew that the game was going to be, A, completely different, and 2, if there was a blowout, it was probably going to be the other way around. And it should have been a blowout, even though it wasn't. Minnesota struggled. Their stars didn't do a whole lot. It is their bench that kept them in the game. And by a miracle, they didn't get blown out last night. But the game tightened up after OKC had double digits, and kind of the way that the Pacers come back against the Knicks and the Knicks come back against the Pacers, they started hitting big shots to close the lead, and they took the momentum to steal the victory. Well, Minnesota didn't quite do that last night, and maybe they would have had a better chance if their bench had not outscored their starters for the whole game. That's not good, especially when Edwards, who's supposed to be the face of the league, that a lot of people think should be the face of the league, he had less than 10 points in the first half. Randall had 6 points or 5 points for the whole game, and he's the number 2 scorer. There's no way in the world a team can win a championship when your star players are being that inconsistent. I told you the same thing about Jamal Murray. I told you about John Morant and all those other guys. Unless you're consistent, you cannot win a championship, which also is the reason why I'm so puzzled with all these analysts and prognosticators just refuse to give OKC their credit. They talk about everybody else because of what they've done, and because OKC got knocked off last year, they expected that to happen again this year. Even now, Knicks fans, they just can't see how somebody else should get more credit than them, and they're not doing as well as others. We'll find out more about the Knicks tonight, but last night, for the second time in the series, I saw Randall score less than 10 points, and this guy here is supposed to be their second best player, and it's kind of ridiculous. Deleted. He says, give OKC the trophy now. Well, I thought they were the best team all year long, and as much as people want to talk about the Lakers and Golden State and all those guys, I just didn't see how they were playing enough team ball to be able to get by OKC. Even with the Eastern Conference, the Pacers and the Knicks, either one of those teams aren't strong enough, in my opinion, to win that NBA championship, especially if they come across OKC. There's levels in sports, and what the Knicks and the Pacers are, they are good playoff teams. OKC is on a higher level. They are a championship team. And anytime you get a championship team going up against a playoff team, it's not going to end pretty for that playoff team. Yeah, they might be able to get one victory here or there and make it interesting, or make it appear to be interesting. And then the rest of the time, they're just going to be getting up off the mat, which is why I posed a question the other day. I put the video out. Is the NBA rigged? OKC is clearly the best team. They were up 2-0. Then all of a sudden, you get beat by 40 points. Come on, man. You can't tell me that the NBA league office then call OKC and say, let these guys win a game or two, and you go ahead on and win the series. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because they come out last night, and they just started playing ball like they always play, and next thing you know, they're up 3-1. So now the question with Minnesota lies, will they show up in game number 4? I think they'll show up for a half. If they come out in the first half and they're struggling and they fall down by double digits, second half is going to be a blowout because those guys, now that they know they're down 3-1, it's a tough uphill climb, and this team here is no joke. Um, we don't feel like we have a chance. The world doesn't feel like we have a chance. So why come out here and play hard? And that's what a lot of these guys be thinking. Once they get to a certain point, they feel like they can't win, they'll stop competing. And that's when you have another blowout, especially in front of the OKC crowd. Now, if Minnesota's able to come back and pull a victory out, then that makes it interesting. But at the same time, OKC is just going to beat them in 6. But I just think that Minnesota, with the way that Edwards is leading the team, he claims to be the best player in the league, but at the same time, he's getting trapped and pulled on and everything else, and that's slowing his production down. But if you're truly the best player in the league, you should know how to deal with such things. The best players in the league have all dealt with that. Jordan, Kobe, all of them. Why is it that it's an issue now when you're supposed to be the best player in the league and you can't survive that? I just don't understand. All right, JC, how you doing, man? The leader says SGA is the MVP. Yeah, he's worthy of the MVP, but at the same time, Jokic, he might be of more value to his team, and to average a triple-double for the whole season, this might have been the best year that Jokic had, and he's already won it 3 times. I think when you couple the fact that SGA is having a great year 2 years in a row, and you got edged out by Jokic last year, sometimes you have fatigue. People get tired of seeing the same people win an award. But if you looked at true merit, regardless of what somebody else is doing, I know it's hard to pick somebody for an award like this if it's not a clear-cut number one. But Jokic is probably more deserving of that MVP. He's pretty much carried his team and put them in positions that Shea hasn't had to do because he's got the better team. But that's here nor there. He's got the MVP. I like what he did. He bought everybody Rolexes. That was tight. I like to see stuff like that. But it's not uncommon in sports. I know quarterbacks, they usually buy their linemen, take them out to eat and buy them all kind of gifts because they make him look good. And if you start giving gifts and stuff on top of what they normally get, then you're going to have that loyalty and support from them for a while. And it's hard to beat on somebody's quarterback anyway without retribution from linemen. So if you're buying Rolexes and feeding them, you better stay away from that quarterback unless you find yourself in the hospital room somewhere. But yeah, SGA is definitely worthy of the MVP. And I like what he did about taking care of his players. All right, Chris Bristol, how you doing, man? I'm doing all right, trying to recover from these basketball games. I see Frederick Wright, Thunder Up Chat. What's going on, man? I gotta say something, Mr. Wright. A couple weeks ago we had that guy on for Minnesota. D Nice was his name, and he said that they were going to win in 5 games. Well, after losing the first game, I didn't hear nothing from D Nice. Then they went down 0-2. I really hadn't heard nothing. I thought I was going to hear from him again when they blew him out in game 3, but I hadn't heard nothing from him, and I'm disappointed, man. So if any of you guys know who D Nice is, and he's had numbers on 1180 or something like that, I don't remember exactly what it was. Somebody find this guy D Nice and tell him, come on in. This is a safe space. Nobody's going to hurt his feelings or give him a hard time. We're just going to wrap him around our computer screen and say, we know how it is, man. Just breathe. And maybe one year you get enough players, and the players you get might just show up in the playoffs and make some shots. And your number 2 guy like Randall, he's going to have more consistency. And then Minnesota can get to the point where everybody think they should have been this year and deserve it of the accolades that they were given before they actually earned them. So that would be nice if we can get them to that point. But if you see D Nice, tell them to come on and hang out with us, man. We do like we do in the schoolhouse when they have tragedies. They put them in a circle and everybody get to express their feelings, and we get it in the group and cry it out and everything be fine, man. So just find him and we'll be all right. But no, I'm just messing around. Um, Syed Ahmed Ali Shah says Oklahoma City. Well, Fred, a lot of people going to jump on the Thunder bandwagon now because they didn't want to give them credit before because they were Laker fans. They just knew the Lakers was just going to come through because the NBA should be represented by the big city of LA. Just like the Celtics fans feel the same way. The East should be always represented by Boston. I completely disagree. I hear people now talking about what's Oklahoma going to do about keeping their team together because they're in a small market. Well, that would have been a big deal 40 years ago. But now when you got the NBA, you're all dealing with the same kind of money structure. And the money is backed up however the league organizes it. I know NFL does revenue sharing, and the teams get about this time every year, teams get money from last year, $300-400 million profit. So the money is there because you're part of the league. It's not like Oklahoma City is affiliated with the NBA, but they don't have the same pay structure as everybody else. If they didn't have the same pay structure, then they would have problems paying their players. But that's not the case. So when you hear people talk about that, what difference does it make if they're in a small market? They're still benefiting just like the rest of the league. So that is mute. But I think that Minnesota, they're going to find a way to keep the core of their players when they come back next year, and they're going to be even stronger because right now they have an opportunity to put together a dynasty. Not say they won the championship yet, but I did say that they were going to do it. And I think based on what I've seen, other than the talk everybody else is trying to anoint others, it didn't match up to me. And what I've been saying all along is showing you or manifesting itself on TV. And it's just a big problem. Man, what are you talking about, young fighter? You know what? You the kind of dude I need to go one-on-one with because you talk a lot of trash behind this behind these video screens, man. Chucking and Jiving say the Timberwolves suck. Well, Gobert needs to go. Well, big as he is, you think that Gobert would produce more than what he's doing. I seen him last night. He got pulled away close to the foul line. He was standing like in the middle of the lane. The ball's up in the air, and he's sitting there watching the other two dudes get in position to get the rebound. Now, here you are, over 7 foot, almost 300 pounds, and you won't even get into the action, man. And this is the player that they traded for that people started to say Minnesota's getting serious about winning the championship because they went and got a guy like Gobert. Well, Gobert is a sometimey player, just like Randall, just like Edwards, just like a lot of players in the league. When things don't go their way, they kind of get to pouting a little bit. All right. How is your day, Malcolm? How you doing, Malcolm? I'm just getting started. No, I'm not stressed, man. I'm good. This time of the year is like Christmas to me. Schoolhouse getting ready to get out. I got me some time off to do what I want to do, young fighter. So I like it. But no, I'm not stressed even in the toughest of time. I might not get enough sleep, but other than that, I'm fine. So I asked the question, is Minnesota done? Cooked, finished? Most of you are saying yes. Now, I'm also of the mindset that if I go down 3-1, knowing that it's a 7-game series, until the series is over, I'm not out. In other words, I'm going to keep on fighting. I'm not going to be like the average NBA player and realize when I'm down 3 or 3-1 that it's over. Theoretically, it might be. The odds are against me, but you hadn't beat me yet. And street fighting, anything like that, same thing. Until you're out, you're not out. And they need to develop the mindset of a boxer, because a boxer is going to get in there and fight. You might lose all the rounds and just happen to catch you with one. I've seen that happen several times. Guys walk right into a punch because they think, they dominate the other guy, but the other guy's still fighting. He's overmatched and all that. But all it takes is one punch. Now, I know in basketball it's a little different. You got to get the bounce. A lot of things have to go your way. And to be down 3-1 is a tough position to be in. But still, I've seen teams come back from 3-1 I've seen teams come back from 3-0 and tie it up after 6, only to lose in game 7. So it's not impossible. It's just how much heart do you have? And I think in general, the NBA players, they don't have any heart. All right. You're talking stupid. Go to the barbershop. There we have a bunch of people who will talk about the NBA. Yeah, I'm aware of the stuff they talk about the NBA, but you got to realize you have to be able to separate fan talk from analytical talk. I'm looking at it from a coaching standpoint, and I'm putting moves together 2 or 3 moves down the line before they see it. They're in the barbershop primarily talking about fan talk and about their particular players. And it's more along those lines. So I try to avoid that kind of stuff. Jokic, the real MVP. Yeah, I made a comment about Jokic. Jokic is very, very fundamental for the Nuggets program. And he's kind of like, kind of like Minnesota. Jamal Murray is very, very sometimey to me. And even when he scores 20 and 21, there's times he might score 1 or 2 in the first half, and then you have a rush at the end. It might be garbage time when he got his points. When you look at the final stat line, he seems to be doing all right. But if you watch the game, you got a completely different picture of that, and that's no good. Sometimes when you get on a rush like that, you can come back and steal a game, like Karl Anthony Towns. He had less than 10 points. He had like 4 points going into the fourth quarter before he scored like 20-something. So it's possible that you can get on that kind of run to help your team win the game. But most of the time, those catch-up points, a lot of times that's garbage time. So I don't see the consistency there. And Jokic needs more consistent players. They need to shake that roster up a little bit and send some of those guys out to the heart doctor, checking for flaws because they're struggling in that department. Not enough had work. Should be the MVP. You should be the MVP. I talked about that the other day, young fighter. NBA, I think, is rigged to a certain point. I think the league can make phone calls to certain teams and tell them to lay off. And that's what I think happened the other day when OKC got blown out by 42 points. You can't be the best team in the league and lay an egg like that. That's too obvious. Now, get beat by 20 points, yes, but 40-something, there's no effort there. And especially when you had the opportunity to kill a team right then, they don't even show up. So that leads me to believe that the league had something to do with that, man. You average 35 points a game. Okay, let me tell you something, young fighter. A lot of people average 35 points a game. All you got to do is put it on the low level of your favorite computer video game, and you can score as many points as you like. You can even put it on the season mode and take your favorite team all the way to the championship. I tell these guys here in Jacksonville about the Jaguars the same thing. If you want to go to the Super Bowl, get you a John Madden copy, put it on season mode, and you can take it all the way in, man. But you say you scored 35, send us some proof. And then when you show the proof, send us the proof that it's actually you. How about that? But until you can do that, you're doing just like me. You're just talking. So, again, I ask, is Minnesota cooked? Most of you guys say yes. And I'm agreeing with that. I thought that OKC was a better team all along. I heard all the talk everybody said, and Edwards this, and it's time Minnesota's time that, and I never saw any of that. And after the series is played out, I still don't see it. But Minnesota has a fighting chance. They throw a couple of haymakers in there. Some key players get hurt. Anything happen. But like I told you guys before, Minnesota wouldn't even be there if Curry hadn't got hurt. Golden State's still a better team. But if your star players hurt, that's just part of the game. And they just happen to benefit from that. So we'll see what they do with that. And right now they hadn't done a whole lot. But anyway, yeah, Joel Embiid, he's he can't stay on the floor, man. And he keeps playing, he's going to mess himself up moving down the line. So if I was Embiid, I'd just take my millions and go sit down somewhere or sit out a year and rehab all the way and then come all the way back. But I think that he's a wash. He's not coming back. Not like what he could have been. Kind of like a successful version of Greg Oden. Greg Oden never got a chance to have an extended time to show what he could do because of his bone problems he had. And Embiid, he's on the same level to me. But he's still a good player when he's on the court. But the question is, when can you get him on the court? And that's the problem with that. But fortunately enough for him, he's not playing football where the money's not fully guaranteed like it is in the NBA. So he can sit out and miss games where he could have played. Well, you can't get away with that in the NFL. You can do it, but you're going to see him on the waiver wire by the end of next week. So that's why the NBA players get away with what they do, because once a man getting guaranteed money and the check cleared, he can tell you to go to hell without actually coming out telling you to go to hell. But his actions is showing you that you can go to hell. And as long as these guys keep making money the way they're doing, and the prices are going to be going up, wouldn't surprise me at all if they have a game and the players boycott it and just won't even start to play. Anything is possible in these situations, but I don't know. Hakeem Glass says, I think OKC can win it all. Yeah, I've been saying that the whole time. Can we talk about soccer? I'm getting ready to sign off, young fighter. Soccer is okay, but the big thing right now is basketball, and I don't have a whole lot of time to talk about everything. But how about this, young fighter? You come on in the morning, and we can talk soccer if that's fair enough. But in the meantime, I got to get up out of here. But I just wanted to come on and make a comment about the disappearing act of Anthony Edwards and his buddy Julius Randle, only to be outplayed by their bench. And that's not a good look, especially when you had to have game number 4 to keep this a series. And now you go on the road down 3-1. And it's almost like an inmate staring down execution, and he's waiting for the governor to give him a stay. And it's 11:58, and your execution is scheduled at midnight. You got a problem, son. All right. Well, Hakeem Glass, appreciate it, man. LaMelo Ball deserved the MVP. Yeah, the MVP of bums. I'm not impressed with LaMelo Ball, to be honest with you. But, he fits right in with the modern day player. He's got his fans, talks a lot. Hey, more power to him. Making more money than I do. But anyway, I appreciate you guys chiming in with me. I hope you like and subscribe. And I'll be back on tomorrow for sure. But if there's no break, well, if there's breaking news, I'll be back on today. As always, football news is in the air. And everybody down here is on Travis Hunter case for getting married. And I don't know why. It's that gold digger thing is always out there for all these guys. You never really know until you know. But he doesn't seem to be bothered with it. And if he's happy about it, so am I. But I just can't understand why people giving that situation a hard time. But anyway, hit that like button, Fred Wright. We'll see what you're going to do tomorrow. See, can you close them out? But if Minnesota's got the heart I think they should have, then you're going to have a pretty good game tomorrow. All right. What do you mean, what will I do after this? I'm going to work, man, in the schoolhouse. Got to go sign in right now. All right. Y'all have a great day. I'm a real coach there, young fighter. Just not right.